Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shruti Smriti Purananam Tam Loka Shankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Gayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Athava Danam Jnana Vihinaha Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janma Shatena. The fuel for samsara is desire. When we say desire, what we mean is that vicious advance, seeking this or that, which only continues the cycle of action, result, action, result. Are you able to follow the statement? The fuel for samsara is desire. Can you follow the statement? Huh? Yes, you can follow that. Right? The fuel for samsara is desire. Meaning, desire keeps samsara alive, keeps it going on. This is not a simple statement. You have to go to the root of it. What do you mean you have to go for the root of it? How does desire come first? You have to find out. Desire comes because of incompleteness. Incompleteness comes because of lack of knowledge of the self. So when we say desire is the fuel for samsara, that desire itself is caused by lack of knowledge of the self. But then why do you say desire is the fuel of samsara? Because desire is more evident than ignorance of the self. It's more clearer. We experience it. And we also see the effects of desire very easily. How, Swamiji, we see the effects of desire easily? Because desire will lead to likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes will lead to action. Meaning, desire will lead to action. Likes and dislike prompts good action, bad action, right action, negative action. Negative action causes papa. Positive action causes punya. Punya and papa enables various kinds of embodiments. And therefore, when we say desire is the fuel for samsara, it is much easier to appreciate this statement. Even this statement requires some philosophical understanding. But I'm sure by now you have that kind of comprehension whereby these statements will be meaningful. Right? And therefore, if one has to conquer that desire, one has to go to the source or the cause of why desire, the cause for the manifestation of desire. And the cause for the manifestation of desire is the ignorance of our true nature. Therefore, jnana vihinaha sarvamatena bhajatina muktim janmashatena. Therefore, one who does not have the knowledge of the self, even by 100 years of any kind of practice, be it vrata, be it noble activities, be it even the worship of God, be it even karma yoga, be it even pranayama, be it even anything for that matter, finally the person will not come to end desire. Bhajatina muktim. He will not have that freedom. He will not have that liberation. Primarily, liberation from desire. And really speaking, liberation from desire is a liberation from samsara. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamanam Vrata Paripalanam Atava Danam Jnana Vihina Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena. Sarvamatena, by all philosophies, by all valid philosophies, by all the Astika Darshanas, be it Sankhya, be it Yoga, be it Nyaya, be it Vaisheshika, none of the philosophies, all the philosophies proclaim universally that without jnana there is no liberation. Dukkha, janma, pravritti, dosha, mithya jnananam uttarottara paye tadantara payad apavargaha. There is a famous Nyaya Sutra, Gautama's Nyaya Sutra. He says everything finally is coming from mithya jnana. Mithya jnana means false knowledge. False knowledge means what? The thinking that I am the body, mind and so on. Ajnana is also called as mithya jnana. Ajnana is ignorance. Ignorance can also be called as false knowledge. What do you mean? How ignorance can be called false knowledge? Ignorance of the self manifests as knowledge of the self being the body, mind and so on and so forth. So even the Nyaya Sutras say that only by the destruction of that false knowledge, mithya jnana, not only just Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, but even other darshanas. Well, they have a different understanding of Atma. That's a different matter. But then, only one who knows the self gets liberated. A very famous statement in the Upanishad, Jnana devatu kaivalyam. By knowledge alone is liberation. One should not think by knowledge alone is liberation, means by memorizing Bhaja Govindam is liberation. When we say by knowledge alone liberation, what we mean is by the experience of the self alone is liberation. Because finally, what is knowledge? Knowledge is crystal clear clarity and firm conviction which cannot arise but for our own experience. Right? And then speaking about that uncluttered mind of a jnani, speaking about how that jnani is not interested, how that jnani is not seeking this or that, bhoga parityaga is there. Remember, parityaga is not of the world, because world is not yours. Parityaga is of the vasanas that we have inside. The tendencies that we have, the wishes and wants that we have, because that alone belongs to us. World does not belong to us. You cannot, before you go day after tomorrow, you cannot say, my dear friend, I love you so much, so many days we have been together, therefore I give for you Adi Shankara Nilayam. It is not yours to gift to your friend. Because it doesn't belong to you. So when I say parityaga, it is not parityaga of the world, because world was never yours. You did not create the world. So what is parityaga here? Parityaga is our wish and want. Our wanting bhoga from the vishaya. That is ours. Sarva parigraha bhogatyaga. That bhogatyaga, this person gives up. And then how is the mind? Totally free. Seeking nothing. Accepting everything. Our Gurudev will say beautifully, accept everything, reject nothing, keep nothing, reflect everything like a mirror. Beautiful statement. Accept everything, mirror accepts everything. Rejects nothing, whatever it comes in front, it will eliminate. Keeps nothing, but does not hold on to anything. It doesn't say, I like this reflection, I'm going to hold on to it. No. And reflects everything back. Doesn't hold anything, reflects everything back. Be like a mirror. Accept everything, reject nothing, keep nothing, reflect everything like a mirror. This is called as an uncluttered mind. This is called as a pure mind. This is called a free mind. This is called what? This is actually consciousness. The mind of a jnani is consciousness only. The mind of a ajnani is consciousness manifesting as waves, and those are thoughts. Waves in consciousness are thoughts. All the thoughts resolving into the consciousness is consciousness. Do I always move my hand like that? No, I don't. Whenever I want, I move my hand, get something. But I cannot say like that my mind is. My mind is ever wavering. But mind is also an instrument only. And therefore, just as how the hand is an instrument and is to be used whenever required, and other times it can be free and relaxed. The same way, mind also can be like that. When we want to use the mind, we use the mind. Otherwise, the mind is just still. But such experiences are very rare for us. Because wishes and wants always cloud our mind. Sometimes occasionally when we are in nature, say watching a sunrise, or say being in a quiet place like how you have Adi Shankara Nilayam, suddenly wishes and wants go to the background and then the mind becomes quiet. But always wishes and wants cloud our mind, keep our mind cluttered. But for the one who has no bhoga lalasa, one who has no greed for this or that, wish for this or that, because he is ever blissed in his self, which is Purnananda. Being that way, his mind being free of raga, and therefore, kasya sukham na karoti viraga. This kind of uncluttered mind, this kind of mind totally free. For whom will not this state not give bliss? This vairagya not give bliss. For everyone this vairagya will give bliss. But everyone has to come to that vairagya to taste this bliss. That was verse number 18, right? Then we had verse number 19. Yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati nandati nandatyeva. So yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va Sangavira. He's showing two contrasting things. One with respect to the external world, another with respect to the internal world, which is also external finally. It is also a world. Yoga ratova, bhoga ratova. That is the internal. What do you mean yoga ratova, bhoga ratova? Whether the mind is absorbed in quietude. Yoga. Bhoga ratova. Whether the mind is engaged in the experience of the sensory world. Whatever it be. Sangaratova, sangavihinaha. Whether the mind, whether the person is with sangha, external world, with society. Sangavihinaha. Whether the person is in solitude. With others, he doesn't feel full. In the absence of others, he doesn't feel empty. His fullness is ever full. Why? Yasya Brahmani Ramate Chittam. His mind is ever in that reality. His mind is ever in that reality means what? Never does he forget who he is. That is called as being in reality. Tasya stitir tatra dridhaiva nishta. Being Brahman is the mind established in Brahman. Being Brahman is the mind not forgetting its true nature, the self's true nature. Nandati, nandati, nandatyeva. Why that nandati, nandati, nandati 3 times it is said? Whenever it is said 3 times, it means always. Nandati, nandati, nandatyeva. Past, present and future, it ever abides. It is continuous for such a person. That is why nandati, nandati, nandatyeva, without a break, continuous. And also nandati, nandati, nandatyeva, for sure. This is a truth, take it. Nandati, nandati, nandatyeva. Don't doubt it. This is how it is. Says a person who is in that experience. It is the truth. Right. Now, how does one come to this state? Now we have to start the fresh verses. How does one come to this state? Today, you showed me such a height. That height you showed me. That is the height of Everest. So far you showed me. Well, I can visualize that fulfillment of that jnani. But today when I look at myself, I am so far away from that final goal, culmination. Those pinnacles look unclimbed because I feel I am in the abyss of ignorance. How do I go from where I am to that highest point that you showed me and you inspired me for? How do I do that? Concrete, simple methods to start the spiritual journey. Let us read the verse. 20 we are, okay? Bhagavad Gita kinchidadhita.
Bhagavad Gita kinchidadhita.
Ganga jalalava karnika pita.
Ganga jalalava karnika pita.
Sakradapi yena murari samarcha.
Sakradapi yena murari samarcha.
Kriyate tasya yamena na charcha.
Kriyate tasya yamena na charcha.
Bhagavad Gita kinchidadhita ganga jalalava kapita sakradapi
yena murari samarcha. Kriyate tasya yamena na charcha.
Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Govindam Bhaja Modhamate.
Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrinkarane.
Nahi nahi rakshati dukrinkarane. Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadita. Start with this. Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadita. The person who has read little, studied a bit, Kinchid. Kinchid means a wee bit. Every day start a wee bit of Bhagavad Gita. Why, Swamiji? Why? There are so many Shastras are there, scriptures are there, n number of texts are there, the Vedas themselves are there, the Upanishads are there. So many texts are there. Why Bhagavad Gita? Because Bhagavad Gita was given to a person who was confused. Today I am confused. The Upanishads are given to a person who is fit for spiritual knowledge. The Bhagavad Gita is given to a person who is a man of action, living in the world, facing the challenges, wanting solutions, having confusions, don't know what is right, what is wrong, what should I do, this way or that way. To such a Arjuna, I am that Arjuna. Arjunam nimitti kritya, Shankaracharya would say, keeping Arjuna as an excuse, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, keeping Arjuna as an excuse or keeping Arjuna as only a symbol for you. Nimitti kritya. Bhagavan Sri Krishna gave the teaching to each one of us individually so as we can cross those illusions, so that we can shatter those illusions and hammer those delusions. Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is what? Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. Again Shankaracharya would say. Samasta Vedartha Sara Sangraha Bhutam. It is a essence, it is a collected essence of the entire Vedic teaching. Vedas are so vast that a person, it becomes, it's highly improbable that a person may be there who has comprehended the whole Vedas along with the meanings of all the words and all the texts. Because to comprehend the Vedas, one has to comprehend also Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandaka, Jyotisha. And the Vedas themselves are so infinite and vast. It's impossible. Maybe one person can learn a bit of the Vedas. Available Vedas, that too. Because Vedas are, really speaking, infinite. What is available is revealed by the rishis. What is required is revealed by the rishis. But the Vedas themselves are infinite because Vedas are knowledge. And knowledge cannot be limited. You can discover a bit of knowledge and apply it in your life. But knowledge itself is limitless. Vedas are limitless. But then, the essence of the entire Vedic teaching, Bhagavan Sri Krishna brings to us. There's a beautiful verse which says how the Bhagavad Gita is the essence of all Upanishads. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopala nandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdham gitamritam mahat. Consider all the Upanishads to be cows. Sarvopanishado gavaha. And the milkman of all these cows, the Gopala of all these cows, is what? Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Dogdha Gopala Nandanaha. Meaning, Dogdha is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Partho Vatsa. Partha is Arjuna. Arjuna is the calf. The cow does not give milk unless it sees its calf. Naturally, I mean. Otherwise, you put those instruments and then make it suffer. But the calf, it sees, immediately its udders flow with milk Because out of love for the child, those milk comes. The calf cannot drink all the milk. If it drinks all the milk, it gets stomach ache. It can't drink all the milk. It should not drink all the milk. Therefore, whatever milk that calf requires is given. And the rest of the milk, everyone also nourishes, cherishes, delights with. The same way that was required for Arjuna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna gave. And then those Upanishad cows gave so much of wisdom, which is available for generations after generations. Until today we are all benefiting from the Bhagavad Gita. The Mahabharata says very beautifully, Gita sugita kartavya kimanyai shastra vistaraihi. Oh my dear, master the Gita. What is the need if you master the Gita to go through all the Shastras? Because this Gita itself contains everything. That is the power of the Gita, glory of the Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Kinchidadita. Take one verse. In one verse, take half a verse. No. Half a verse also you take half pada. No. Half pada also take one word. Understand that. Slowly go. Little by little. Bhagavad Gita, Kinchidadita. Swamiji, will I be able to understand Bhagavad Gita? Don't you worry. You will be able to understand. Don't think that you can't understand. You start, you will understand. The mother embraces her child. Bhagavad Gita will embrace you. Don't doubt. The Gita is that universal mother. She is a mother of knowledge. Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadita. If you want to really study the Bhagavad Gita, what should I do, Swamiji? Some suggestions I have. There's a Bhagavad Gita course offered here, which goes chapter by chapter, concept by concept. You can take it up. Or if you want to go verse by verse, word by word, there's a course called Master Gita, Master Life. Go through that. If you don't want to go through any courses, but you want to study the book, take the Holy Gita, which is a commentary of Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandaji on the Bhagavad Gita. And with the Holy Gita, you get also the Holy Gita ready reference. Because that's a complete reference with the Holy Gita. No, Swamiji, for me studying and all is not my area. I love to listen. And the whole Bhagavad Gita, Pujya Gurudev's lectures on the Bhagavad Gita is available as pen drives. Bhagavad Gita, Kinchidadita. Swamiji, I want to study Shankara Bhashya on the Bhagavad Gita. Slowly, my dear, you go. First you start here. Then slowly you can go to that. Little bit Sanskrit also you study, equip yourself, and then a guru can teach you, and then you can master it. But if you want it, everything will happen. Don't think, I don't have a guru who can teach me. Don't you ever think like that. You start, the guru will come. When you're ready, the guru will have to manifest. That is a promise of God. Bhagavad Gita Kinchidadita Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. Beautiful. Ganga Jala, the water of the Ganges. Lava. Lava means a bit. Kanika, a drop. A drop of the bit of the Ganges. Meaning what? A minuscule portion, a minuscule, something what you hold in your palm of your hand. Kanika Pita. Samji? Gangaji also so much importance. The tradition, Gangaji is revered to be Vishnupadi, flowing from the foot of Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu itself. It is said that Bhagavan Vishnu, when he took the Vamana avatar, Brahma, the creator, Hiranyagarbha, Brahmaji the creator, washed the lotus feet of the Lord, and that began the Ganges. Thus began the Ganges. And then it flowing through the Swargaloka. I think Mandakini is the name, and it flows there. And then comes to, by the tapas of Bhagirata, it fell on the matted locks of Lord Shiva. And from the matted locks of Lord Shiva, still with greater tapas, she flowed. By the tapas of Bhagirata, King Bhagirata, to wash away the sins of his forefathers. He had done tapas. To give mukti to his forefathers, to his pitras, he did the tapas. And therefore, the Gangaji is also called Bhagirati. Flows. Rishikesh, Haridwar, Vavava. All great matas, great ashramas, great sages, great tapasvis have meditated on our banks. Punya Nadi. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. That Mother Ganges. Swami Tapavanji, Guru of Pujya Gurudev, used to say, Gangaji is flowing Brahman. Brahman flowing, it seems. Brahman in a particular vigraha, we call it as Krishna. In a particular form, we call it as Rama. Like that, Brahman flowing is called Ganga. That was his devotion to Mother Ganges. He always was on the banks of river Ganges. That Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita. A little bit. And as you drink that Ganges, invoke in your hearts that purity. Invoke in your heart that roar of the Ganges, which says you are that highest reality. And purify yourself. Ganga purifies. Ganga takes you to that reality. Sakradapi ena murari samarcha. Sakradapi means even once. Murari. Murari is the destroyer of the rocks. Asura Mura. Every Asura is a representative of our ego, individuality. The one who has destroyed that Asura Mura. Murari, the enemy of Mura. The destroyer of Mura. The destroyer of all egos. Sakradapi, even once. Samarcha, samyak archa, meaning if you have worshipped that Bhagavan even once, well. Why once? Because once itself, if you do it right, it is sufficient. Once itself, if you do well, it is sufficient. Yasya smarana matrena janma samsara bandhanat vimuchyate namastasmai vishnave prabha vishnave. Where? Nobody knows? Vishnu Sahasranama starts with this kind of prayers, invocation. Yasya smarana matrena, just remembrance. That is the power of that Lord. If you connect with the Lord even once is sufficient. You just have to put your finger a little bit into that plug and connect yourself with electricity. Sufficient. You don't have to do 5 times there. Once is sufficient, you know what is it. That one connection you should get. One connection with God. One glimpse of the reality is sufficient. It is enough to destroy the entire bulk of ignorance we have collected for lives together. Like how the very mass of darkness is put to an end by the mere rising sun. Just it rises, the darkness ends. Similarly, just that one pure connection with God puts an end to ignorance. And to establish this pure connection with God, many attempts we do. That is called sadhana. Sadhana is many attempts, but the true connection once is sufficient. For such a person, kriyate tasya yamena na charcha. Yama stands for death, kala. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrinkarani. That kala is yama. Meaning, a person who has done these, what? Bhagavad Gita, kinchidadita, Ganga jalalava, kanika pita, sakridapiyena, murari samarcha. For a person who has done that, with yama, there is no fight. With yama, there is no fight. There is no fight with death. There is no fight with death. Death is conquered. What do you mean death is conquered? Death is there only when we take ourselves to be an individual. If the individuality is dead, for whom is death? Mrityum jayam mrityu bhyashritanam aham matir mrityu upaiti purvam atasvabhavad amriteshu teshu katam punar mrityu dhyo vakashaha. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. For one who has put an end to this individual, himself, who is there to die? We should die before death comes. Then death has no one to take. Death has no one to cause death. Die before death comes. And then live eternally. Swamiji, not clear. Die before death comes so that you can live eternally. What do you mean, Swamiji, by all these kind of statements? Die. Let the individuality die before the physical death comes, before the body death comes. And when the individuality dies before that body death comes, bodily death comes, for whom is the death? For whom is the death? For whom is the birth? There is no birth and death for a person who is dead before death comes. Because it is the individuality which takes birth. Such an individuality is not there. Therefore, there is no worry at meeting death, because there is no death for such a deathless person who knows that he is not this person who can die, but he is the very Sachidananda Swarupa, the substratum of even the ego. Bhagavad Gita kinchidadhita Ganga jalalava kanika pita sakridapiyena murari samarcha kriyate tasya yamena nacharta. Here, these three lines also indicate the jnana, karma and the bhakti yogas. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja, we say, right? Bhagavad Gita kinchidadita, adita, jnana, to study. Jnana marga. Sakridapiyena murari samarcha, bhakti marga, worship of God. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Swamiji, don't keep on quoting verses, Swamiji. No. You go to the first Bhaja Govindam verse, Gurudev would have explained all these things. First verse you go. Worship of God, bhakti. Ganga Jalalava Kanika Pita refers to the karma yoga. If you want to look at Gangaji, in Gangaji you find the greatest expression of selfless service. She rises from the Himalayas and flows through the plains, nourishing the entire Indian subcontinent, so to say, the whole region there, the Gangetic plain. Nourishing the so-called, not so-called, nourishing even the Bangladesh was earlier India, that also. Everywhere, the whole place, Ganges nourishes. Selflessly she nourishes, is it not? So from Gangaji we can learn this lesson of selfless service. Our Pujya Gurudev took inspiration from Gangaji for his whole life mission. As Pujya Gurudev was sitting on the banks of Ganges at Uttarakashi, suddenly he felt this inspiration. Just as how Ganges rises from the Himalayas, flows to the plains and benefits the whole country, benefits the whole land, so also the knowledge which I have received in the Himalayas, Let it flow and bless the world. And thus he started his life mission. The Ganga plan. That's how he called. So whether it is the Jnana Marga or the Bhakti Marga or the Karma Marga, walk the path. For the one who walks the path, there is no fear of death. There is no fear of death means what? There is no death. Mrutyorma amritam gamaya. But if one does not do it, then what? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Next verse, 21. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam.
Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam.
Punarapi janani jatare shayanam.
Punarapi janani jatare shayanam.
Iha samsare bahudustare kripaya pare mahi murare. Together. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare paya pare pahi murare. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja
Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrim karane.
Nahi rakshati dukrim karane. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. This verse also is telling us how to pray to this Murari. Earlier he had said, is it not? What did he say earlier? Sakritapi yena murari samarcha. Even once, if you can, worship that Lord well. How does one worship the Lord? All those things also he says. Okay? Punarapi jananam. So a person, a sadhaka thinks, endlessly this samsara has been going on. How endlessly? What do you mean by that? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again birth, again death. Punarapi jananam. Punaha api punarapi. Again. Punaha is again. Punarapi means what? Also again. Also again. Once again. Already I am born. Once again I am going to be born. Already I will die in this birth. Once again I am going to die. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Birth means what? So nice, no? One more. When the child is born, we are all so happy. Everyone in the family is so happy. Baby is born, baby is born, baby, 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 baby. But you should ask the baby, how was it, my dear baby? If the baby were to remember, Punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Janani jatara. Janani jatara means what? In the womb of the mother, the stomach of the mother. Punarapi janani jatare shayanam. There you have to be for whatever 9 months, 9.5 months. One has to be there. So what? Very nice, no? Very nice in Mumbi's womb. Are Baba. Terrible. Terrible. We don't remember. Good. But if we have to remember, Adav karma prasangat kalai. It's a beautiful text by name Shiva Parada Kshamapana Stotra. Kshamapana, asking for forgiveness to Lord Shiva. For all the aparadhas, for all the mistakes one has done. Bhagavan Shankaracharya, beautiful text. Should read. Yourself you can read, understand. Gurudev has written a commentary on that. Forgive me is the name of the text. Adav karma prasangat kalayati kalusham matrukukshav stitam mam vinmutra medhya madhye kvatayati nitara jataro jata veda yadyadvai tatra dukkam vyatayati nitaram shakyate kena vaktum Kshantavyo me parada Shiva 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 Bho Sri Mahadeva Shambho. The verses go beautifully, but I'll just tell the meaning of this one verse, you see how beautiful it is. So Shankaracharya is praying to Bhagavan Shiva to forgive. He's telling us how we must pray to God. Adau karma prasangat kalayati kalusham matrakukshav stitam maam. Because of various karmas which I had done in the past, because of that, I took a form. First, how was the form? The form was an indistinguishable form in the stomach of my mother. And how was it? Vinmutra medya madhye. Vinmutra, all very, very amedya. Amedya means what? Very eeks. One side is that urine flowing. Another side is the two bathroom going. And in between I am lying down. And not only that, the stomach, the digestive fire of my mother is cooking her food, and I am also getting cooked there. Vyatayati nitaram jataro jata veda. Yadyadvai tatra dukkam vyatayati nitaram shakyate kena vaktum. Which child can ever describe that terrible experience of lying there and going through all these pains and tribulations there? Bhagavan, I could not remember you. Kshantavyo me aparada Shiva 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 Bho Sri Mahadeva Shambho. Because I did not worship you there, because of all these things, now I am worshipping you. Beautiful. Then afterwards you will go to Balyavastha. Balye dukkadireko malalulita vapuhu stanyapane pipasa no shakta shendriyebhyo bhavaguna janita jantavo mam tudanti nana rogadi dukka trudana paravashaha shankaram nasmarami. It will go on like that. Kshantavyo me parada Shiva 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 Bho Sri Mahadeva Shambho. I'm not going to keep on telling you what is the next verse. What is the next verse? Here he's telling, I am lying there in between my mother's 1 and 2 I was lying. Here in my own 1 and 2 I am lying as a child. And all creatures, flies, I have no way to protect myself. They come and strike me, bite me here and there. And when I cry, nobody understands why am I crying. In that severe pain and sorrow, Bhagavan, I could not worship you. Please forgive me. For that I am worshipping you now. Kshantavyo me parada Shiva 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 Bho Sri Mahadeva Shambho. Then he will go to youth. Like that one stage, so beautifully, how the mind was not available to worship the Lord. Oh Lord, like that he worships. Like this, how many lifetimes you have taken? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Iha samsare bahudustare. This samsara, this chain, this of life, of birth and death, which goes on, how is it? Bahudustare, very difficult to cross. Very difficult to cross because I do not know how to cross. First of all, I do not know it can be crossed. Then I do not know how to cross. Then if I know how to cross, I don't have the capacity to cross. And if I have the capacity to cross, I don't have the inclination to cross. If I have the inclination to cross, I don't have the necessary will to cross. And if I have the necessary will to cross, there are so many difficulties I have to go through to cross. Iha samsare bahudustare. Apare. It feels endless. Kripaya. By grace. He Murare. Pahi Murare. Now this is not something which I have to explain to you the verse. It is a verse which you have to feel. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murare. Kripaya. Only I cannot tell you you must, because what right have I to tell you, oh Lord, that you must save me? What did I do for you? First of all, to ask for you to save me. What right I have? What can I give you, O Lord? Nothing I can give you. I am a beggar, having nothing in my hands. I am suffering. All that I need is your compassion to save me. Pujya Gurudev's commentary is so beautiful. I'll just read out one portion for you. You see, Gurudev just visualizes that bhakta who prays to Bhagavan for protection and mercy. O destroyer of Mura, Lord Krishna, save me. Help me, please, is an ardent prayer unto him, and seeking his feet of love is the only way out. And then Gurudev writes that prayer, how that seeker in his heart prays. And even here, what right have I, the slave of my own passions, the non-believer all these years, to seek his help now? True, I have no faith to meet thee, O Lord. I have nothing to offer thee except my own tears. I have nothing to claim for myself except the fatigue of my indulgence, the stink of my selfish acts, the sweat of my passions, the cords of my attachments. In fact, I don't deserve to be saved. Yet, Lord, I am tired, beaten out completely, exhausted thoroughly, repentant fully, helpless wholly. I surrendered myself to thee and thy grace. I claim a hearing and expect help from thee. Are not thou the ocean of kripa, of grace, of kindness and of love? Art thou not the destroyer of the demon Mura? Won't thou in thy kindness take pity on me and once more destroy that old enemy Mura in my bosom, the bundle of my own wretched vasanas, of that ego? Won't you destroy me? Like that, the seeker surrenders for Lord's grace. And every time a seeker surrenders to Lord's grace, fresh strength arises from within. For when the ego is quietened, strength naturally rises and becomes alive. It's the ego which keeps us weak. When the ego is surrendered in devotion, strength comes naturally from within, which the bhakta sees as Lord's grace. Right? In this way, this is how we worship Bhagavan. Mechanically, no. I collected a lot of flowers. I paid for all these flowers, as the flowers you have created. Tera tujhko arpan. But we think it is ours. I made lot of lovely Naivedya Prasad and give it to Bhagavan. The idea is what? After puja is over, I will eat everything. Right? But what is the heart that Shankaracharya shows for us? This is the heart. Like this one should pray. Alright? Then what? I think we should stop here. Then what? We will take it up tomorrow. But sometimes, you may have a question. Swamiji, birth, death, okay. Who takes birth, Swamiji? Where is this? Where is death, where is birth? Who takes birth? Physical body is dropped here. Who takes birth? Jiva. Okay. What is Jiva? I will just give you a simple example for you to think over. I'm not sure this question was discussed in your group discussions or presentations. Just imagine like this, a bucket. Okay, a bucket. In the bucket, water. It came? Okay. Bucket, in the bucket, water. In the water, reflection of the sun. Sun is Paramatma. The reflection of the sun is Jivatma. And the Jivatma is reflected where? In the pool or in the waters of the mind. And when I say mind, I mean Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. This is called Antakarana in Vedanta. Manas is thoughts in dilemma. Buddhi is thoughts in decisiveness. Steady state of thoughts are called Buddhi. Chitta is memory, past experiences and everything. And then Ahankara is the I thought. In that I thought only, you have the reflection of consciousness. So in this bucket of water, you can imagine that the top layer is the I thought. I thought is also a thought. In that thought, that reflection is that actual feeling of I. And that reflection of the sun on that water on top goes and spreads to the pool of the water. And that is how mind, intellect, chitta, everything gets activated with the ability to know and feel and think and all those things, because the light of consciousness is there. And that light also goes to as that light penetrates through the mind, intellect and all, it also goes to the walls of that pot, and the pot also shines. Especially if it's a metallic pot and all, you can see the shine also well. That is the sentiency we feel in the body. This is a individual embodiment, in a certain embodiment. The pot can be different. Based on the difference in the pot, you'll have the difference in the embodiment. Plant, animal, bird, human being, deva, yaksha, kinnara, various varieties of beings also are mentioned. Each one different varieties of bodies. What is death? Death is when this body can no more hold this waters. Then what happens? This whole thing means what? That whole water, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, whatever, and then the reflection is transferred to some other pot, some other bucket. And this bucket is broken. So death is the end of the bucket. Birth is the transfer of this content to some other bucket. Remember, the sun is not transferred. The reflection is transferred. That reflection is the individual I. And where is that reflection of the sun happening? On the I thought. That I thought is called as Ahankara. Right? And then you have that Manas, Buddhi, Vasanas, everything. What is Vasana? Vasana, you're saying, what is Vasana? Vasana is that strong, deep, unconscious inclination. It will express without your permission. Suddenly the desire comes. Where is the desire coming from? Comes from a Vasana. Suddenly desire is coming means where was the desire? It was in the unmanifest form. The unmanifest thought is called as Vasana. Vasana, when it manifests, becomes a desire, anger, jealousy, whatever it can become. Good Vasana also can be there, bad Vasana also can. Meaning positive and negative. I mean good and bad, positive and negative. I mean positive Vasana is which brings peace in the mind, love, compassion, forgiveness. Negative vasana which becomes agitation in the mind, anger, greed, jealousy, negative, examples of some negative. All of them are the waters. When the waters are calm, quiet, the reflection is bright. Now the reflection is bright for all of you. Waters are agitated, then the reflection also is agitated. You feel mind is agitated. Sattva is when the mind is quiet. Rajas is when it is agitated. Tamas is when it is filled with all. Suppose you fill it with mud and dirt and all those things. Then it is very, very dark and unclear. That's called tamas. Right? So punarapi jananam means what? The bucket is not used. This one is taken, gone. So when I say I am one, who is this I here? That reflection of consciousness. And all its instruments. The mind, the intellect, everything. Along with the vasanas, everything. These vasanas are called as causal body in Vedanta. Karana Sharira. And mind, intellect and all those things are called as Sukshma Sharira. And the body is called as Stula Sharira. Stula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karana Sharira and the Jiva. Right? The Stula Sharira body is left here. The Sukshma Sharira, the Karana Sharira and the Jiva take birth. Meaning get a new embodiment. And the new embodiment will depend upon the desires and actions done in the earlier embodiments. Not only this one, but the earlier also. All of them join together and give the combined cumulative result. Okay? How long this will go on and on. Hey Murare, please protect me. Enough is enough. Let me find out my true nature and merge with you and be as you. Right. We conclude now. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.